This is The Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
Good afternoon, Tuscaloosa, Internet World, West Alabama. How we doing today on this Wednesday? Rainy Wednesday on the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral, BamaCentral.com. Hanging out with us in the Derek Daniels State Farm Studios. Your boy went out and got some headphone adapters. We connected a couple wires, connected a couple chains. Hopefully, the technical issues that have bothered us on Monday and Tuesday will be corrected today. Thank you to everybody who has joined us on the Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube machine at Joe Gaither6, who's joining us on the BamaCentral YouTube channel at BamaCentral, and who's joining us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon. You guys are my favorites. Sorry, we do play favorites on this show. And you are my favorite if you're doing the podcast center, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify. Those are like the most trackable numbers. So that's why they're my favorite. So I appreciate you guys so much. We're going to have a lot of fun in the Derek Daniels State Farm Studios. Ooh, Mason, little adjustment today as I haven't had myself in my ears in months. So, all right, here we go. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're here with Mason Woods. Follow Mason Woods at MAWoods_ on the Twitter machine. You can find him right there for all of your recruiting news, Tennessee Titans news, little this, little that. And Mason Woods having fun on the Twitter machine, writing for Vandy on SI, Alabama on SI, Boston College on SI, Missouri on SI. Oh my gosh. I should have texted one of the Missouri kids so he could talk a bunch of bleep to him this morning and just be like, yeah, you're going down. Rah, rah, rah. You suck. Oh, but we didn't do that. So good morning, Mason. How we doing? And we'll get into it.
I'm doing good. You know,
oh, you sound good. You sound connected.
Fantastic. Glad that we have everything sorted out today. This is probably this should be our best show now. Like it's all, you know, we're
nothing's wireless.
Yeah, we're doing great now. We have everything sorted out. But no, I'm doing good this morning. You know, had to suffer through this rain last night, deal with that a little bit. The animals were a bit restless, as always when it storms and rains and things, but had a good night mostly.
What does Rusty and Ramses do in the rain? Because Abby did nothing. Abby sleeps in her crate like a sweet little angel baby.
The cat will panic and dart from hiding spot to hiding spot, you know, throughout the evening. Rusty's usually pretty okay. He'll just refuse to go outside, and then it becomes your problem when, you know, it's been 4 or 5 hours since he's been out, and it's like, all right, buddy, what are we doing here? He's a little guy.
Yeah,
he can't hold it super long. He does pretty good, but you know, eventually you got to just kind of pick him up and set him out there, and he'll figure it out.
I need to talk about taking you to civil court. By the way.
Oh,
Rusty bit my hand so bad. Like it would turn green and purple and disgusting.
I can believe that. He's got that kind of power.
Just awful.
All
Absolutely.
10 pounds of him.
No, I'm wondering in the times where it's raining, if you just get yourself an umbrella, scoop them up, and drop them in the yard.
Yeah, basically is what you have to do. You just kind of have to eventually just pick him up and go set him out there, and he'll just kind of turn around and look at you a little bit, and he gets it. You know, he'll get the memo.
It's like, hey, buddy, it's time. You can go dry out. You are a pet. Look, all you dogs. The dogs from my generation, I think back to how my parents did the dogs. And I love my parents. But it was, we had an outside dog and he just roamed outside and he just knew to come back for the food. And, but now all our dogs are, we're this specialty food and this, he's sleeping on this specialty bed and this, that.
We had an outside cat, and the way that I treat our cat now, night and day.
Yeah, exactly.
I treated my boy Phoenix when I was growing up. He was a good cat, though. He just did his thing. He came around when he knew it was time for some food, like you said. Every couple days, we'd find a dead rat or something sitting in the driveway that he had left for us. You know, he was a good little guy.
Nice little trade there. All right, so what are we going to do today on the actual show from the sports realm? Let's get into that. You can call us at 205-462-7340, extension 800. I know a lot of you people did not really hear the call on Monday because of the technical issues is my guess. My next guess is internet, needs some internet beefage. We have fixed the technical issues. We're hardwired into all of our programs. So if you want to call, we invite you, 205-462-7340, extension 800. I would like to experiment on that guy again and to see if I need to keep upping the ante on some equipment, this, that, and the other. So please give us a chance to test ourselves. But what we're going to do is talk about Alabama, Missouri. We're going to talk about Rylan Griffen just a little bit. We're going to talk about Alabama football. What do you want to see in this documentary? Are you excited for this documentary? What is it? The Tide That Binds, right? The Tide That Binds or the Tide That Rises? Is that what
it's the Tide That Binds.
Yeah, I wrote a silly little article last night about it, and I should have had that right in my brain.
The Tides That Bind, yeah.
The Tides That Bind. Interesting. I'm going to guess without knowing any background, because I did read the press release, this, and then the other. But I'm gonna guess without knowing any background, the folks, Caleb Castile, who's really the Alabama tie on the production side, on the film side. You all know the Castile brothers. You all know Caleb Castile, Simeon Castile. What's the fathers? Jacob Castile, Jeremiah Castile. I think the father is Jeremiah, right?
Jeremiah.
Yeah, father's Jeremiah. Right. Okay. So the father played for Coach Bryant and was the hero of the Liberty Bowl, the Coach Bryant's final game. Castile family legacy goes on, but much of his sons play defensive back here, and Caleb Castile leaves here after walk. I don't know if he was on scholarship or not, but didn't play a ton. But obviously, family legacy, left Alabama out to Hollywood. I'm pretty sure he's on the. Is he the fellow on the NCIS stuff or on the CSI stuff?
I believe that is correct.
He's got one of those spy shows, one of those cop shows.
NCIS Los Angeles. Looks like they ended in 2023. But yeah, that's what he was on.
Never got into those.
No,
my ex-wife. Oh my gosh, my ex-wife would love a cop show. Would love True Detective. What was the one?
True Detective.
True Mystery.
I was gonna say
I like True Detective.
That's another level. You know, you get into the HBO shows. That's like premium TV.
But what is?
You got CSI,
Criminal Minds. That was her number one.
Melissa's a big fan of Criminal Minds.
No, I just don't like it. It's just it's too formulaic.
They're so cheesy, and so everything is like, oh yeah, formulaic is a good way to put it. Every episode follows the exact same thing.
Right.
We have this insane, the craziest murderer you could ever think of. I'm not a fan of those.
And so Caleb Castile got on with the NCIS show.
He was in LA. I don't know if you ever watched this, but it was a Hulu show, Wu-Tang, the American Saga.
Wu-Tang Clan.
Great series about just the history of the Wu-Tang Clan. Really good show.
Was he playing a member, or was he
he was only in a few episodes, it says, but I don't remember him in it, but it says he was in 5 episodes. So.
Was he just like, okay, all right, bet. Well, he is the connection point. He's the connection point for this documentary for Hollywood, LA to Alabama football. And I would imagine that this documentary was in the works for some time. How lucky, how fortunate. If you're a filmmaker, you've probably had this in the works for about 6 to 8 months at minimum. Probably closer to a year, if you had to guess. And so, okay, we're going to take our crew. We're going to go to Tuscaloosa. We're going to film Alabama football, fourth quarter workouts. We're going to film off-season program and end of the year and turn it into a documentary. Bam. Who wouldn't want to see that? Every Alabama fan would want to see that. So even on the surface, you got a good premise.
Sure.
And you get the okay from the university and the Alabama athletics department, largely, I would assume, to the connection with Caleb Castile. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just think that that's probably what let them in the back door. And then Nick Saban retires. And it's like, oh, our documentary has completely changed. Our documentary, instead of, it's still the same, we're going to film fourth quarter, off-season workouts, the fall season, but it has completely changed what we're doing.
Now, do we think that this timeline on this project stretches maybe even further? And Nick Saban, for the last 3, 4, 5 years of his tenure, said, "You're not coming in my doors. You're not coming to film my team. You're not doing it." And then he finally decided, you know what? You guys can do it this year. Because he knew in the back of his head, I'm not going to be there. This is going to be someone else's problem.
Woo! Maybe so. Wasn't he...
To say that the media had limited access to the Alabama football program is putting it lightly.
Wasn't Alabama not? Didn't the SEC? Didn't SEC Network do some sort of like they did some behind the scenes stuff last year, but Alabama wasn't a part of it.
No, I do remember this. They gave all of the teams the option to opt into it.
Yeah, and Alabama did.
But I think it was only like 4 or 5 teams that did. I don't think a lot of teams did opt into it, if I remember right. I think it was like Florida, Texas A&M, maybe a couple others that opted in.
So I like your theory. Nick Saban says, "Oh yeah, you can come in," and he hits the back door and leaves.
They've been
not
begging
NIL
him for years, coach.
Not transfer portal.
They've been begging him. He finally said, "Oh yeah, you know what? This is the year, you guys. We got all this stuff lined up. We can do all that. Yeah, you guys can come in, film all you want. It's gonna be great." Out the door. And then they hire Kalen. First thing, yeah, sorry, we got a Fox crew coming in. They're gonna be filming you this year.
I mean, the distractions that they dealt with this year.
Because this is like how I didn't even know this was happening until a month or two ago. Maybe I may have heard about it when it had been announced months back, but I don't really remember. So, I was not aware that the entire season. Obviously, they had all of the other distractions that we have talked about on this show countless times. But throw on top of it, you got a giant production crew following you around every day throughout the facility for the entirety of the season, probably with cameras all in your face. They're pulling you aside to do cutaway interviews. They're asking you all these personal questions that, let's be honest, most of these players probably don't even care to answer. That's for a first-year head coach. This was a tornado that he stepped into.
What do you think he's like going home, Coach DeBoer? What do you think he's going, this last month, January, right? The off month. We're recruiting our tails off. We're going all over the country, but it's the off month. I guess the off month really is probably technically June for them. But you get January, you're home for the whole game, you're lost. You're finally sitting home on the couch with Mrs. DeBoer, and she's like giving the, well,
so what we think?
Yeah, how first year? What are we gonna do? I bet you
it was just like a 30-second exhale, and it was just they both looked at each other and just understood we're out of the woods now. It's all uphill from here.
Golly, you're gonna get Ryan's gonna come back. Ryan's coming back, and you can
remember that quarterback that you wanted when you were at Washington. You got him too. Everything's golden. Maybe worry about that offensive line a little bit, but hey, we're looking good. Got you a big fancy recruiting class.
That's the truth. That is the truth. Everybody freaking out.
I really think he sat on his either on his couch at home in front of probably a very nice TV, maybe a fireplace sitting there too, or he went into probably a very cushy office chair in his home office, and he just let out a very, very long exhale, maybe poured himself a glass of scotch, and just calmed down for an evening, realized that, hey, the hardest part's over now.
You think Kalen DeBoer is a beer man or scotch? I bet she's. I
don't think he doesn't. He
doesn't strike me as a drinker at all.
No, honestly, probably
he gives me no drinking vibe.
No, he probably opened a Sprite.
Ginger ale.
Yeah, there we go. Maybe a tonic water.
And that's not like anything bad about you, Coach, but you don't give me any vibes that we're gonna have a glass of wine or a beer together, which is fine.
You got to have a nice glass of tepid water.
Now the offensive coordinators, though, Ryan Grubb, Jamarcus Shepard, and Nick Sheridan.
I bet they cut up together.
Oh,
I bet I would not be all that surprised to see on Twitter one night the three of them in like bad disguises out on the strip hitting the town together, Joey Freshwater style.
No, I think those three fellas, they've got a good sense of balance.
They take a quarterly trip to Atlanta for a weekend.
Ryan Grubb, he just seems like the kind of guy who's like.
They all kind of just seem very laid back, just kind of go with the flow a little bit. But then, like when push comes to shove, they can get after it. Obviously,
it's going to be interesting to see this documentary because I think that we got interaction with the coaching staff once a week, and I think the fan base was exposed to that, and thus, we're going to watch these videos and learn these coaches. I think this little documentary is going to show us, these guys actually were coaching, because I think the perception of the fan base was they're too soft. They're just letting the kids do whatever.
Ice cream trucks at practice.
Yeah. Because when they would come to talk to us, they treated us like human beings. They weren't rah, 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 yelling at us like, rah, rah, do your thing, do your job. And of course, Jamarcus Shepard was a little bit intense from time to time, but that's just who he was. He was never rude by any means. I think that people, the Alabama fan base, watch these videos over the year of Kalen DeBoer and the assistant coaches being cordial with the media, and they thought, what the heck? Nick Saban used to mother bleep these guys. Nick Saban used to get after them. Used to really. What's wrong? Are these coaches soft? Are these coaches afraid of the media? Come on, that Joe Gaither, he's a softie. He's nothing to be afraid of. You need to get after him.
They got to build a relationship with that media. They got to make sure that media.
I just think they're different people.
I mean, that's certainly, but I think also we might see them adjust a little bit this year, maybe get a little bit more candid in sometimes, just because I think that first year is still kind of feeling out like, Nick Saban obviously had his relationship with the media. I think he deep down in his iron heart actually loved the media, but he gave off this abrasive attitude.
I was his favorite, by the way.
But I think, the media is your friend if you are a college football coach. Like, they are the people that prop your team up. They're the people that talk about your team. They're the people that write about your team, whatever it is. So, like, if they don't like you, your team's going to get dog talk, crap talked or whatever every day in the news, every day on the radio, whatever it is. Like, having the media like you a little bit goes a long way. So I think, you come out and you're cordial and you're nice and you say the right things. It builds up a little bit of rapport with them so that maybe the next year.
So that I'm softer on them in the offseason when they go 9-4.
Sure.
Is that what it is?
Maybe.
Oh, Joe. Oh, no. Oh, no. They were nice to me, and I've infused that into my coverage. Oh, no.
I think we've been pretty critical of them.
I think so, too. I got friends who are not Alabama fans and who don't live here who give me, Joe, what's a appropriate way to say what I'm trying to think? Shill for Alabama. I was hey, you just shill for Alabama. You defend Alabama at every turn. You are you're carrying the water, carrying the banner for Alabama. And I'm like, guys, I don't think that I do. Oh, yes, you do at every turn.
I mean, it's hard not to.
Right, the university's not bad. It's not like they're out here like,
and also,
0-12.
Even if you're not intentionally doing it, like, they're wildly successful in almost every endeavor. It's kind of hard to pick at them.
Exactly.
They have one of the best basketball teams in the country, one of the best football programs in the country, a very good baseball program, one of the best softball programs. Like, a list runs long. It's hard to pick, and it's hard to pick holes in the university sometimes. So, like, I get it, but we are most certainly not shills for the university.
But I do love you, university.
Sure.
I mean, I had a lot of great memories there, but I
did a lot of good things for me.
I feel like I'm critical when there's times to be critical. I hope I am. I hope I'm fair. I hope that them being nice to me face to face hasn't made me softer in my coverage. We'll see. But anyways, this is what, like a 6-part documentary?
Yeah. Something like that.
Over the next couple of weeks, look, I wrote all this down. Let's just go to what I wrote so I can just be nice and tell everybody. Alabama football docuseries. The 6-part docuseries will be available exclusively on Fox Nation.
Oh, boo.
The on-demand streaming service.
Yeah, I'm not watching it, though.
Fans can stream the series beginning February 19th. That's today via foxnation.com or the Fox Nation app, available iOS, Android, Samsung. Oh, I need to delete the rest of this part because it came straight from the press release, and it's just all the places to find this Fox Nation app. So enjoy that. What is this Fox Nation app? Is it a pay play? You got to pay?
Like, it sounds like it's some new subscription service.
No.
Yeah, I will not be subscribing, so I will not be viewing this. Thank you. Put it on normal TV. Put it on YouTube. Put it on places where people can watch it. I can tell you, I don't know many people that will care enough about this to pay for a new subscription service to watch it.
This is
a bad way to do
this.
this.
Is Angry Man Yells at Cloud,
Why
but
is
like
this
this
not a
makes
gay
me so angry, so disgusted. Like this concept.
Mhm.
You saw yesterday Netflix and the NFL trying to snake away one of the rights from CBS, NBC, or Fox. And it's like, dude, do not do this, NFL. Do not do this. Because the appeal to NFL Sunday is being able to hit the back button. I'm sorry, but my father is smart. He knows how to work a smart TV, but not all fathers are. And so the Netflix app to go watch my NFL football. Oh my God. And the NFL is like, oh, we're all about that because one, they can squeeze a big price from Netflix, but two, oh, we can tell all our advertisers that nobody's clicking away from your ads and thus sell premium advertising because look, you're all Netflixers watching this show. You're watching a Netflix show. It's really hard to change the channel.
You're going to exit the Netflix app, open the cable or whatever your other streaming service is to watch live television, and then close that again once it hits a commercial to reopen the Netflix app, scroll through, find your continue watching, and then resume your program. This is preposterous. I hate that in the NBA, it seemed like this is kind of what the NBA has done. And we have seen it tank. Like people are not watching it. People cannot watch the NBA. It's the hardest, the most inaccessible league in the world. Do not do this, NFL. Like Joe said, the whole appeal is you get home on Sunday and you crank on that cable TV, and there's your game on Sunday. You flip back to you flip back between
Fox,
ABC,
CBS.
Fox, CBS. Like it's
that
simple.
And you get your second screen on Red Zone, and you're all good to go.
It's a wonderful, wonderful system. Just greed.
That's what's driving me nuts right now is just the utter everything's about profitability. Everything's about squeezing the consumer. That's what just drives me absolutely insane. So I guess we'll try to find this Fox Nation documentary. Surely, I mean, I will punch it. I will go foxnation.com and try to see if it's free. If it's free, great. But still, the good old days.
$6 a month.
$6 a month?
Mm-hmm.
So
you can get a 7-day free trial, but that'll get you one episode unless you, I guess.
We're waiting 6 weeks. Yes, we're
then
waiting 6 weeks. That's exactly what we're doing. We're going to wait 6 weeks. We're going to sign up for a free trial, binge them all in a day, and say roll tide. That's what you guys should do. Do not pay Fox your $6. Because
it's actually $7.99 a month.
Of course, it's $8.99 a month now that we've waited 10 seconds, and 20 minutes from now it's going to be $9.99. So you better have signed up 5 years ago. Ridiculous, insane. So look, you're an Alabama fan. You want to watch this documentary. If you don't have Fox Nation, please send a message to the overlords. Wait the 6 weeks till they're all out. And get them on a free trial. Do not give the overlords your $7.99
for the next 6 weeks or 6 months.
Yeah, it's going to be 6 weeks. So that's 2 months roughly. Yeah. But you know what happens? It's what happened to all of us.
About it.
Yes. And you go to your Wells Fargo, you go to your Regions Bank, you go to whatever you're going, and you see, $6.99. Oh, I meant to cancel that. But you're out. You're out doing errands. So you get back to the house and you forget about it. You don't cancel it. And so it rolls over again and it rolls over again. And you haven't watched Fox Nation in months on end, but you're still getting charged for it. I'm sorry. I'm just
this is
in an aggravated mood.
Fox Nation is not the streaming service for yours truly.
I've just been in an aggravated mood for quite some time now, and I think it's really coming to the surface.
Hey, the good news though, on Fox Nation, you can get the latest season of Duck Family. What was it? Duck Family Treasure, the latest from the Duck Dynasty gentlemen. In case you were wondering what they're up to, big premium television right there, worth your $7 a month, $8 a month.
Don't you remember when we were kids and everything was on cable? You had your 150 channels. Like, you know what this is like, the streaming, like what it's done. First, we're a part of this. We are a part of this, but it's given everyone a platform. And we're taking our platform, our tiny platform right here, to complain about everyone else's platform. Sure. That's what we're doing. But like,
we're the little guys playing in the field with giant, great white sharks, Fox, ABC, and Netflix, and everyone. Like, let the little guys have their damn thing. You had yours. You dominate cable for the last 75 years. You don't have to dominate the internet too. The internet was for everyone else. I hate it.
I wish I was 9 years old again.
So bad.
Lord Jesus, look. What was the reverse? Can you reverse big me? Tom Hanks, he puts the coin in and asks to be big, and he gets. Can you reverse big me?
Can I rob that machine, and does it work the opposite way?
Just make me 9 years. I will deal with my parents at that age. That's okay. I was a bad kid. I sent them into tizzies. Oh yeah. All right, so this Alabama football documentary is coming out. Don't spend your $6.99 on it.
Don't.
Wait the 6 weeks till all the episodes are out. Binge it in 2 days, and that's the way you should. I mean,
I don't think that these are. I don't have much.
Because what are they going to show you?
That's what. Yeah, that they're not going to show you a whole lot. It's going to be, really nothing more than what you've seen in limited spurts this whole season anyway. And these episodes aren't. They're going to be 45 minutes long, maybe, probably
hour 10, maybe.
Yeah,
right.
If you're lucky,
in there.
Yeah.
This sounds like an Alabama version of Hard Knocks to me.
Yes,
and
probably with a lot less, or with a lot more positive sort of filter on it, I would imagine. Also, because Hard Knocks gives you a little bit of the unfiltered kind of,
Yeah, that's what. There's gonna be the crimson colored glasses over the filter.
1000%. This will be, more to prop up Alabama than it will be to give you just kind of unfettered access to the Crimson Tide.
When I think about Hard Knocks now, I think about this past season. The Bears season was horrible, but the last 3 minutes of the Hard Knocks season, and when I'm back in Chicago, I feel it. Somebody waiting for you, and it just showing like the montage of Caleb Williams and all these, and I was like
eating it up.
I was deeply in my field at that point. So Hard Knocks is fun. Like, I'm the HBO family. Like, that's already in my.
If we could get a legitimate Hard Knock style NCAA, college football that.
What do you think the conversation?
Greg Sankey or whoever it may be. I guess not Sankey. Whoever it is, we make Nick Saban select a program every year, and you have to be on college Hard Knocks.
I just want to see what the conversations were like between Milroe, Sheridan, DeBoer, and Simpson. That's what because what are they going to show you? They're going to show you. I think I've already seen a clip. Jamarcus Shepard installing the offense. He's up at the podium. Rah, 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 we're gonna. When the X receiver is this, you got to be 4 steps off that, and it's going to be this is your landing point. That's your landmark.
I heard one clip that was, I think, from Jamarcus Shepard as well, talking about Ryan Williams. And in one practice, he ran over 8,000 yards and topped 21 miles an hour.
So it's all propaganda, which is great. It's fun.
I bet you get a whole Ryan Williams episode.
But I want to hear the conversation between DeBoer and
I want to hear Greg Byrne coming down after that Vanderbilt loss.
Oh my God,
that's what I want to hear.
Greg Byrne was on the sideline that night and just going in with the rest of the people. Yeah, that's the good stuff. Yeah. I want to hear. Are you going to show me the conversation between Coach DeBoer and Malachi Moore after the Vanderbilt game? Yeah. Is that what you're going to show me? Because okay, that's worth my $6. Is it just going to be? Rah, 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 roll Tide.
That locker room after the Oklahoma game. That's what I want to see.
Show me that locker room at halftime. Actually, that's what I want to see. I want to see the alleged finger pointing. Alleged. Look, give me the real, because there's a lot of juice this year that could be worth it. But if you're just going to make this documentary, rah, 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 Billy's lifting weights, rah, 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 Charlie's running sprints, rah, 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 Steven's throwing passes. Mm-hmm. I don't care. I do not care. We get that from
the
university.
Yeah. That is what the whole Alabama football YouTube page is.
They give us the 4 minutes of here's a really tight shot of Billy catching a pass, so you can't see who all's around him, and you can't see what route he ran. It's a really you're great.
They should do that.
Yeah, of course.
Fox should not.
Right. Alabama should be putting out the propaganda.
Yes.
It should be, oh, look at this one pass. You remember last year, what was it? Right? It was Jalen Milroe down the sidelines. Was it to Jeremy Bernard in fall camp?
I think it was.
Yeah, and everybody lost their daggum mind. Like, yeah, that's what should be. But if you're going to build a 6-week documentary and you're going to put it behind a paywall, so you're roughly asking people to pay $7, and then what's half? You're roughly asking them to pay $12 to watch this documentary. But if you're watching all 6 weeks and you cancel it, $7.99 plus about half of that, $12, $13. Sure. You better give us some juice. Because if that $13, I'm already giving it to you, Alabama. I'm already giving it there. You better give me some juice. I want to hear the
NIL discussions with Jalen Mbakwe.
Oh my! I don't want to hear that. I do, but I don't. That will.
I want to hear hey coach, Lane Kiffin called. I think I'm gonna go to Ole Miss.
How much was it?
Seven figures.
No, I don't need 7 figures. What was the number? Come on, what's the number? So I can go tell the accountant and see if we have it.
I think
well,
that's
it's 1.2.
We're not going to get, but I want to get.
Yes. And I want to play wide receiver. Okay, you can play wide receiver.
Do whatever the hell you want. Get him off it. Yeah.
Oh, so I'm sure it's going to be all over the internet. I'm just a curmudgeon about spending money. Yes, I'm just a curmudgeon about just being squeezed at every turn.
Yeah, if anybody wants to take one for the team and slap his bad boy on the old YouTube, that's cool.
They probably will. After 6 weeks, it'll be up there. It will be up there. All right, where's our time before we move into the next topic? Because I think that our time, we meandered on that. 30-something minutes. We need to tell everybody about, let me click on that screen right there, about our friend Derek Daniel. We are live in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios. You can call Derek and his team 205-758-3391 for all of your insurance needs. Call Derek and his team, Red, Reese, and Victoria. They're upstairs. They'll be happy to talk to you. Yeah, they're upstairs right now. They'll be upstairs all day. Call them at 205-758-3391. We mentioned it's raining outside. You already knew that if you're outside. So make sure you're safe on the roads. Make sure you have the proper auto insurance. Better than what? Comprehensive and collision? You need you need the entire gambit of auto insurance. Call them at 205-758-3391. Call and see how much Derek can save you today. All right, Mason Woods, we're live in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios. It does sound better connected this way, which makes me excited. You can call the show at 205-462-7340, extension 800. Oh, that brings me to this. We do have a voicemail. We got one after the weekend. The Auburn fan has more to say.
Good morning. I just wanted to follow up and say I tried to tell y'all that Bama didn't stand a chance against Auburn. I tried to tell y'all that y'all were too dependent on three-pointers. Mark Sears is undersized. Coach Oates can't coach a defense. Bruce Pearl is way better. Auburn's better. That's why we're number one in the country. Yeah, War Eagle.
Didn't really sound like his heart was in it that much. I'm not really sure how passionate this fan is.
Well, we're trying something new. So he's trying something new. There's nobody to talk to when you call the voicemail line. It just says ring, ring, and then you get moved over. So you just have to know that you called the right number. That's the next step for us, Mason. We got to set up. This is the Joe Gaither Show voicemail line.
Too relying on the threes. Auburn took more threes in that game. I think that's worth pointing out. Alabama didn't even take their normal amount of
26.
Threes. Yeah, 26. It was low.
I'll need 40.
Yeah. They shot remarkably less than they usually do from beyond the arc. They did not shoot well.
No, it's because the Auburn's defense. Yeah, Auburn's defense forced Alabama
into bad shots.
Yeah, into bad shots. But where I was going was late in the shot clock.
Yeah.
Like, what were the possessions? But I don't know. How many possessions did they have? I'm pulling it right here. But to me, I'm sitting in the stands going, get the offense going, please.
Well, it was just, and to our callers' credit, it was a lot of Mark Sears getting stuffed when he tried to drive. He couldn't do anything. He couldn't get inside to then kick it out to someone, to then move the offense around, get someone. It was like it just got trapped at the top of the key with Mark.
That's the difference with perception and reality, Mason. Alabama had 79 possessions. That's all. That's about 10 more than I had thought.
Yeah. I would not have thought it was that high.
You took 30 layups. You took 26. Where are the rest of the shots? That's 56. That's 56 field goals. Where are the rest of the shots? 70.
How many times they got to the line? A decent amount.
Yeah, you're
didn't
taking
capitalize the line.
27 of 70. 27 of 70. I guess they're really grading the layup hard as being really close to the basket on this stat sheet, which is great.
There was far too much, and I think I mentioned this yesterday. Like, not enough. Let me actually finish at the rim, but instead I'm going to pull up, 5 feet away from the rim.
Afraid of Janai.
Yes, far too much of that. Just go to the rim with force and go aggressively, and you're either going to make it or you'll get fouled like 9 times out of 10. Sure, we'll take that 10% where you just miss the layup and you lose your rebound, whatever. You got to run back down. More often than not, you are going to get fouled or you're making that layup. So just go to the rim. Do not stop short of the rim. LeBaron, you do it way too much. And I was cool with it when you were making all the floaters early in the year. But you got stuffed on like 3 of them against Auburn.
I cannot think of what basketball video this is, but I can vividly remember there's a basketball video from our youth where the guy's talking about taking a layup, and he's talking about go right through a mother bleeper's face. Go right through the mother bleeper's face and finish. Go right through the he just over and over, and he's not saying bleeper.
That's the attitude you gotta have.
Go take it to the rim. Janai Broom's a big dude. It's cool.
You're gonna be fine.
Elbow right to the chin. Right to the chin. Like, just have some the aggression
was not there. It was way too much settling on offense.
Yeah, and credit Auburn's defense for that.
Yes.
But like, okay, so this can spin us into forward for tonight's game with Missouri. You're playing at 8:00, and what we want to get into is really from yesterday's press conference with Coach Oates. You get great questions from Tony Sakalas and Nick Kelly. Tony, well done. Tide Illustrated. Nick Kelly, well done. AL.com. 2 really strong questions that got really, really strong answers. Tony asks about playing different guards. Tony asks about playing Mark and Aiden together, or Aiden and LeBaron together, or just any combinations of various twos. LeBaron and Aiden, LeBaron and Mark, LeBaron and Chris and any combination.
You got a lot of combinations there between the 4 guys.
Yeah. And I think that's what we're about to see. I think you're about to see. I don't think they're going to completely take the ball out of Mark's hands. No. But I think that the primary ball handler on this team is about to probably change. I don't know that you bring Aiden into the starting lineup. You're definitely not taking Mark off the floor out of the starting lineup. But you're talking about slow starts, and you're talking about slow start to the half. I think you just have to look at the skill sets. I mean, you saw most recent mock draft yesterday, day before, LeBaron at 35, Darian Reed at 42. You got 2 guys, which Darian, we need to talk about it here in a second. You got 2 guys who are NBA players. Mm-hmm. They're NBA athletes. Let's just say that, because that's what the NBA is looking at freshmen. Are you athletic enough to play in this league? We don't care about your shot right now. We'll refine that shot. Are you athletic enough? Are you long enough? Are you gonna bounce?
You have the intangibles, basically.
Right. And LeBaron does.
Yeah.
Darian Reed does as well. I think this conversation that Mason just had with himself and with me is being had with LeBaron. Brother, You're the NBA guard on this team. Maybe Aiden is as well, but I'm not so sure. LeBaron, you're the NBA guard on this team. You're going to have to take it through a mother bleeper's face and get to the rim and finish. And Mark is going to be out there standing about 40 feet away for that
big dagger three.
Yes. I just think maybe, look, Joe, the next basketball play that I call will be my first. I played basketball manager in high school as the 13th man, so I was in those coaching meetings. But I got like one word, so I won't front. I won't pretend.
I was a baseball manager because I had hurt my shoulder playing football, and I was supposed to be like the bookkeeper. And I remember I would just make some freshman kid that's
the worst job in all of sports.
I hated it so much. So I did it the first game of the year, and I said, "Oh, you that sits on the bench, come here, buddy." And he knew how to do it, and he did it the rest of the year. And I just sat there and talked bad to my friends who were out there playing baseball.
That's the worst.
It was awful.
I did it
unbearable.
7th grade. I was a terrible baseball player, so I did it for our games. This past summer I went to Cubs game up in Wrigley. Best friend lives up there. Taylor, love you, buddy. But Taylor, you're a freaking psycho.
Does he track it?
Dude,
that's insane.
Dude, he's a Cubs fan. Great. Love you for that. And that's his passion. But when he says, I do this every game, and I'm not going to step on your game traditions, buddy. Great. He goes in, and they've just got like stacks of them in like a little tray with little like paper, little like disposable pencils.
That's a neat stadium amenity, I guess.
Right. And so he goes, gets his game card, gets paper pencil, and by the end of the game, it's all filled out. I'm just like, yeah, that is he said, oh, it just helps me keep up with the game. I'm like, you do you, buddy. You know, Roger Myers does it for the Alabama games. I mean, I wonder how far back his books go.
Oh, I don't know. I find an Alabama baseball super fan more so than him.
Yeah, none, zero. But godly, keeping a book, keeping a baseball book is
it's awful. I hate it.
Is the lowest. Like it is.
I hated it. I was so bad at it too. I would make so many errors. We get to the end of the game, coach would run through. He'd be like, "What happened in the 5th inning here? You got 3 things. You missed a couple pitches here, buddy." Yeah, sorry, coach. I don't know. I hated doing that. I was terrible at it.
It's the worst thing in sports in the world.
Yeah, no, I'll chart football plays all day. I hated doing it for baseball.
Now, I was told in 7th grade by the manager that bookkeeping, B-O-O-K. He says that bookkeeping is the only word in the English language that had O-O-K-K-E-E. Is it P-P-I-N-G or 1P? I think he said it had 3 double letters in a row. O-O-K-K.
Yeah, okay, yeah. A-E-E.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
Book, B-O-O-K-K-E-E.
I do have another fun fact that actually is about this basketball game.
Yeah, please.
This is from our friend Blake Byler, who we've mentioned on the show before.
Blake Byler on 3 Sports.
This is not the first time that Alabama will be facing off against Caleb Grill. Missouri sharpshooter Caleb Grill, leading 3-point shooter in the SEC, 48. I think that's read 48.6%.
Did he play at Grand Canyon? Is that where we're going?
He played at UNLV.
The Running Rebs.
Alabama. He scored 27 points against Alabama as a sophomore at UNLV in the 2020 Maui Invitational.
What?
This is his 6th season of college basketball. In that game, he was 10 for 17 from the field. No free throws.
We complain about the portal a lot and NIL some more about the portal. But you mother bleepers need to get out and go get a job. Go get you can go dominate at the Y. It's fine. Like I promise you, there are more games to be played. Like okay, I'm railing, but I know that I'd be doing the same thing if I could.
That's my thing. It's like I do have a tough time. Being mad at them, I guess.
Keep playing school too with all the pretty ladies.
That I guess, but also like there's a decent chance that this Caleb Grill fella is making more in NIL than he would be making at some entry level whatever job he would be going into.
50, 80, 100,
sure, K. So like I can't fault it. It's more the system's fault, for allowing them to do these kinds of things. But like, if that money was not an option, just pretend the NIL does not exist here. That's not really a factor, and he is just really trying to hold on to this. I want to play college basketball as long as I can. It's just like, after year 2, basically, you're probably not going to go to the NBA, or you have a decent chance at going to the NBA. Probably after year 1, like you know whether or not you're going to go. You've been in college for 6 years. You have known for a long time that you are not one for the NBA. Let's just hang it up, buddy. Let's take them shoes off. Let's put the slides on. Let's get on the bus and go home. And let's get us a nice cushy job. But again, the NIL, so I guess I can't. I get it, because I would do the same thing.
I would too. Free school, not a real job.
Yeah, because that's another thing.
You get
no way
food.
He's taking one class probably,
right?
And it's probably like history of art.
His food's all taken care of. This, that, like
he'd get a nice paycheck.
It's cushy.
He's probably got him a fancy little rental car.
He looks old in this composite photo.
He looks old in this picture from UNL, from when he was at UNLV.
UNLV, Iowa State for 3 years. Oh, okay. He goes Iowa State 19 and 20, goes to UNLV 2021, then goes back to Iowa State 21 through 23, and is now at Missouri.
This is preposterous.
Ridiculous. Nuts. Okay, so you got a bunch of
Alabama
transfers.
did win that game, by the way, the last time they played, 86-74.
You got a bunch of transfers for Missouri. Missouri didn't win a single conference game last year, and that was honestly a crime, because Missouri, I thought, was a pretty decent team last year, just got a bunch of bad luck. And I have I view Dennis Gates very favorably. We'll say that. I view him as a very, very, very good coach, a really good recruiter. And I'm glad that Missouri didn't just lose their brains last offseason after a bad year. And that's a horrific year, but not a bad year. Horrific.
Sure.
But it brings in a lot of transfers, hits the recruiting show hard, and has them right back at 19 and 6. 11th best offensive rating in the country, according to Mr. Kenny Pomeroy. 44th best defensive rating, according to Lord Kenneth Pomeroy. Let's see. We continue. Lord Kenneth Pomeroy has the adjusted tempo at 162, 67 possessions per game. And that's about the only really important numbers from Lord Kenneth Pomeroy. Alabama at 3 offensive rating, offensive efficiency, 39 defensive efficiency. So just a little better defensive efficiency and a little significantly better offensive efficiency. 3 points, honestly, per 100 possessions. I think that Alabama bounces back much in the way that they did against Kentucky. What's your initial kind of feel with this?
Yes. My right off the bat was a little concerned. 2 days ago, Monday, I'm kind of thinking about this game, and I am worried if it's going to be like an Alabama. You played your biggest game of the year up to this point. You kind of, we don't feel like they laid an egg in that game, but maybe they kind of feel like they laid an egg in that game because they lost. And then you're just going to kind of sulk and go out to Missouri and not really want to play hard. But, we've gotten a little later in the week, and I think this team, like we've said, they play a lot better on the road. I think it's a good opportunity. Missouri, I don't think necessarily is an overly, I don't think they match up with Alabama overly. It's not like an overly intimidating matchup for Alabama, not like Auburn was. It's not like one of those kind of deals where you just think, oh, this team's going to out-physical Alabama or something. So I feel a little better about it. I'm still not overly confident. I do worry that Josh Gray is going to give Alabama some fits on the inside, being such a big body in there. But especially with now Cliff reportedly maybe being out, which I saw yesterday. So I don't know. I'm a little concerned. I think it could maybe be a night where Bama has some struggles on the inside without any, the big enforcer in there. Josh Gray, 7 foot, 260, big man.
I'm sorry, I was clicking on something else. This is horrible. This is absolutely horrible. But I missed the last 2 seconds of what you said. They're without their big center tonight. Was that what was only available?
No, Alabama might be without Cliff, and that is what concerns me.
Was that on the availability report?
I saw he was questionable.
What?
Cliff is questionable. Darian Reed doubtful.
Darian's out. Darian's definitely out. We can just tell you that.
This is from our friend.
Yeah, no,
Jack
I'm seeing.
Knowlton.
Yeah, I'm looking at the availability report from last night. Trent Burns out for Missouri. What?
So this worries me a bit because Josh Gray is very large.
Well,
and
okay.
Alabama does not have anybody to defend him without Cliff on the floor.
Yes, they do. Aiden Terrell, go be a man.
Yeah, this is his big game.
Go be a man. Be a man.
This
Use your hand.
This is your game. Like, this is your game, Aiden Sherrill.
Right.
Go out and make it yours. Go out and give me 30.
Didn't play a single bleeping minute again on Saturday.
Crime. Give me 26 points, and I need 15 rebounds from you, Sherrill.
I'm not playing Aiden Terrell. That's a crime
It is.
on Saturday. And coach acknowledged that as such.
I hate when he does that.
He said, "Oh, I meant to play him. I should have played."
Why the hell didn't you?
Who? I don't know which coach on the sidelines is responsible for minutes.
Come on, man.
Hey, coach, we hadn't gotten Aiden in. Aiden hadn't gotten in yet. Like, I don't know.
Like, I'm glad. I guess he didn't just come out and act like he didn't know what happened. I'd rather him come out and say, "Yeah, that's my fault," than anything else. But I do hate when he just comes out because he does that a lot. Or just be like, "Yeah, I thought about that." Okay, well, why didn't you do it? Like,
Had nothing to, his quote yesterday, it had nothing to do with the way that Aiden's been playing, because I think he's been playing much better basketball. I did feel bad. We tried to win the game, and I thought we went with the guys who were working. I would anticipate Aiden getting minutes in the first half here against Missouri and seeing where it goes from there. I felt bad. I love the kid. I actually praised him a lot in a video this morning, because for a kid to not play in a game for the first time all year, and forward Mohamed Diabate had multiple games where he didn't play last year, and I thought his attitude stayed great. Is well known. Everybody here would agree we don't make the Final Four without Mo Diabate. Did in the Final Four. Okay.
a war crime to not play Aiden Sherrill on Saturday, but you get to maybe make up for it tonight.
I mean, Aiden Sherrill might have given that forearm shiver to Janai Broom. I don't know. That's unbecoming, Joe. Don't suggest that. Don't suggest that.
Maybe just a hard landing if he comes down on a rebound or something. You throw a people's elbow down there.
All right, so I'm listening to Ryan Fowler yesterday as I'm going to an appointment, and I about lost my mind. In 2 minutes, my appointment is 2.5 minutes away from the house. He takes a caller, and Ryan, I love you. You did so good. You tried your best. You really did. So this is not a slight at Ryan or his program. No. The caller calls and goes and gives him, like, drops dead fish right on Ryan's foot. He goes, "Well, I guess Nate Oates can't win the big game."
Huh?
What?
What?
Right, and Ryan goes, "What do you mean?" Well, every time Nate Oates gets in a big game, Alabama loses. This past week to Auburn in the Final Four last year. That's all he had. These big guys, he always loses. That's all he had. And
They always lose.
And Ryan,
These two examples.
and Ryan's like, I think things are. I think it's gonna be okay. Like, team's still really good. We got a couple weeks till tournament time, and this joker goes, "I don't care what we do as long as we beat the Cal College." And so Ryan, well done, appropriately goes, "You're telling me that Saturday's loss is going to bother you if this team goes on to win to a Final Four?" Yes, it's going to bother me. He said, "I'd rather beat the Cal College than go to the Final Four." And he goes, "What?
You're alone in that opinion.
What?" He goes, "Now, if you're going to trade me a national championship, then we'll talk." And I thought, so I'm texting Ryan. I said, Nate's won 2 SEC championship games, title games in Nashville. Nate beat Bruce Pearl and Auburn, 2 years ago, down 16 in the second half to win an SEC regular season title. Oh, you beat Clemson.
Beat Houston at home.
You
beat Baylor at home.
Right. You beat Clemson.
You beat North Carolina on the road. You beat, the big games that Nate Oates has won, that list is very long.
And so I'll go into my appointment. I text Ryan. I said anybody who would trade who would not take a Final Four is not someone. I said that's not someone to be talking to.
No, and like that's also a fundamental misunderstanding of like the Final Four of what the Final Four means. It's
When I went last, like I thought I knew what it meant. I thought I knew what it meant as a big deal, but then going last year and saying, "Oh no, we have made the championship. It's we have made the champion.
Yes.
The pageantry is here.
yeah.
Like you need to
People
win a
who-
title, dude."
This gentleman sounds like someone who watches a lot more football than they do basketball. There's a large difference between getting to the semifinal in football and getting to the Final Four in basketball. Those are two completely different things.
It was you know the marketing, the road to the Final
Yes,
Four.
the respect that comes with making the Final Four is very different from the respect that comes from getting to a semifinal. in
Right.
football.
It was a weekend that just continually had me. Oh, what? Oh, this too?
Yeah.
That too? So yeah, no, we're not trading any final. We're not trading for a single regular season win over the. I mean, yes, it's a big deal, and yes, it stinks and it hurts. But in 24 hours, when we're back here in the studio, we're going to be talking about a Missouri win or loss. We're moving on.
Mhm.
Like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. He goes, I'd rather beat the Cow College than go to the Final Four.
I'm sorry that you think that way. Yeah, that can't be a very fun way to be a fan.
That and
To have your entire opinion of a season based around two games.
oh my gosh. And I'm having this week, oh my gosh. My friends intentionally, they do this just intentionally. I know it. They intentionally do not understand the NATO system in our chat. And intentionally, well, if Mark would take a 16-footer, well, if Alabama would take a 12-footer, well,
Oh, you need some mid-range games.
yes. And I'm like, you don't understand math.
Bring back the mid-range.
They're all, oh, well, if you're not a championship team unless you can make the mid-range. And I'm just, like, every day, you have to know 1.4 is more than 0.5, 0.6. Well, you've got to be able to and they're all, well, you went into the rim and lost. Janai Broom shut you down. See, Joe, you shot bad from the rim and from the 3-point shot. And I'm like,
So the answer is to take very less efficient shots.
Oh, you idiots!
Let me make up for this deficit
By taking a harder shot that's worth less.
Oh man. No one is. I mean, Nate Oates could be here for the next 25 years, and people are still not going to get the Nate Oates system. He could be the longest tenured coach in college basketball history. Go for the next 60 years here in Tuscaloosa. I don't even know what the record is, but I imagine it's got to be that long. And people would still shoot too many threes. You live and die by the three.
And the argument that I get is, well, NBA teams, NBA players are. And I'm like, brother, you do not. The fundamental misunderstanding here is we're playing college basketball with college players. Look at this Alabama team, the most talented Alabama roster ever. How many NBA players are on this roster? LeBaron Philon, Darian Reed, Chris Youngblood, probably.
Yeah.
Like, you've got some NBA players, but none of them are going to be NBA All-Stars. No. Sorry. I mean, maybe I get proven wrong. Please prove me wrong, and I will own that and eat all the crow. I will. But there is no one on this team that plays like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, right? Isn't that how you say his name? There's no Luka Doncic on this team. There is nobody. There's no Kyrie Irving that can drain 17-footers in his sleep. I'm sorry. I love you.
Like the best player they've ever had, Brandon Miller.
Brandon was greenlit. Like how many greenlit? How many mid-range guys have you greenlit? Nate Oates has greenlit. He greenlit Aaron Estrada last year. Aiden Holloway is greenlit this year. Brandon Miller the year before. Like, it's one. It's like maybe two. Like, JQ got a little bit he got a yellow light, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh,
man.
The quality, and that's what they don't understand, is that I think all these players in college, it's the same game. It is not the same. Like the skill disparity. Like, of course, the guys in the NBA are taking the 12-footers because they're knocking that down in their sleep. Yes. It is an efficient shot for them. Mm-hmm. It becomes an efficient shot because of their skill.
Yes.
The skill on this team is very high. And love you guys. Mm-hmm. Keep going.
They would get waxed by a G League team.
Yes, and if you sold them all you got to, like, if you X'd out the paint and you X'd out the 3-point line, oh my gosh, you're shooting what, 33%, 25%? You're shooting
40 points a game,
right? And obviously it doesn't work that way. We're being extreme for a reason, but it is an inefficient shot unless you are an elite player. Mm-hmm. Like, I just don't understand the failure. Like, it is. I mean, I'm 35. This has changed in basketball in what, 5 years ish, 8 something. So in my lifetime, it's 30 years of watching pound the paint, get that high ball screen right there at the top of the key, high ball screen at the free throw line.
I guess the Warriors kind of unlocked all of this.
Yes, they did, absolutely. But like, you are deprogramming a lifetime of pound the paint, get the ball into the big man. You are deprogramming a lifetime of, well, if they just take that elbow jumper, that elbow jumper's there all day. So, like, I had a friend, you just need to give up, Joe. You just need to give up and make them, and you just need to either concede that the mid-range shot is important or what. And I think I might have just broke this microphone arm, honestly, because I got so... But he goes, no, I'm not giving up. It is simple math. It's simple math. But what we're doing is deprogramming a lifetime.
Yes.
Coach Sanderson. I love you, Will.
But
I love you so much. You, like, working with you was one of the joys of my life. Promise you that. But it's just
too many threes.
Playing too fast. You're playing too fast. You gotta,
playing reckless. Yeah. I mean, you said it. Like, me and you both, we have seen this, like, this shift happen in basketball. Obviously, like, it's not, our whole life has not been run and gun, let's shoot 43s a game and go on like that. We've kind of seen this evolve, but there is, like, I imagine that caller on Ryan Fowler's show, a large portion of fans who have even more decades of seeing, well, you just got to pound the rock inside. You just need you a good, strong big man. Need to box out and rebound.
We don't have a 7-footer.
Passes, bounce passes, and mid-range game. Fundamental basketball.
Take 2 steps back, you joker.
Fundamental basketball has changed. Like, what was fundamental basketball in 1985 is no longer fundamental basketball in 2025.
Take 2 steps back, you joker.
It is about spacing. It is about speed.
Thank you. My friend said, oh my God. My friend goes, well, if you just hit that 18-footer, you could draw out the guy in the paint, and then you can get to the paint. I said, that is not how spacing works. That is, like, if I'm standing at the elbow, I am not drawing anyone out. I'm not drawing a soul out. If I'm standing on the baseline at 16 feet, at 15 feet, there is no one drawing out. You draw people out by standing behind the arc. That 40-foot Mark Sears 3-point shot, that's what what opens the lane. And, well, if you just, you hit the mid-range shot, you start to draw them out of the paint. I said, you do not understand how spacing works at all. And these fundamental things send me into just an absolute tizzy that makes me come off like an arrogant jerk. I'm sorry. And if that's how I am right now, I'll own it. But this is simple stuff. And you're either messing with me for the sake of you want to watch me get worked up, and that's fine. I can understand that, because you will work me up talking about mid-range basketball. It is the stupidest way to play. It makes me recoil in, like, every cell in my body recoils when I see the 18-footer. But people, it is the telltale sign of I don't know what I'm talking about. I have no idea.
I have formed an opinion before we started having this conversation.
Sure, and it's I've watched however many basketball games I've watched in my life, and that's what I like. Actually, think about the game for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we've watched 30 years of programmed into the big man, Patrick Ewing, Hakeem Olajuwon. I mean, they were great players, amazing. But allow yourself to think about the game critically for a second. I don't see no Patrick Ewing walking through this door. If you were, we'd be playing Janai Broome would be in the post for Alabama, something like that. Like that's what it is. You would get the Janai Broome. How many times did Janai get the ball deep in the post? One dribble. I can't back Mo D down. Two dribbles, back him down. Can't quite get him to move. Okay, let me just hit this one-legged Dirk Nowitzki fadeaway from 4 feet away and make it because I'm just that skilled. Like there are one Janai Broome out there in this country. One.
That is not every player. That is a rarity.
Is Cliff making that 1-footer? Absolutely not. So you just want him to do that? Wow, Cliff would just back.
That is not Cliff's back.
It's like these people just don't think about it's. I get people that come out, Joe, we watch sports too. Why do you think that you know more than we do? Because I am doing this every day, all day, from the second that I wake up to the second that I go to sleep. And when I hear a different opinion 7 years ago, and when I hear Nate Oates explaining the math in the press room for the first time, I thought, wow, that makes a lot of sense.
That is very, very
I'm
smart.
I'm not like super smart, but I passed high school algebra.
Yeah.
And I understand what you're trying to say. This is basic high school algebra.
Yeah, we're not asking you to do a quadratic formula to figure out the proper angle from which you need to launch your 3-pointers to find the most efficient way to. It is just this number is bigger than this number. Why would we not go with the bigger number?
Study the game a little bit and just realize that it's changed. And
I mean, just watch the NBA. What I know you.
It's unwatchable. You can't do it. You can't do it. You can't do it.
In this swath of fans, it's unwatchable.
You can't.
And a lot of it does suck.
I can't watch it. I'm sorry.
But you see the evolution of the game on such a even grander scale than you see in college basketball. Like the only remaining players, and I'm not a huge NBA guy, so I'm sure I'm going to miss some names here, but the kind of remaining old school style centers, like guys like, Rudy Gobert, Bam Adebayo, they are
worthless,
absolutely worthless in this. You've seen the clips
Play
going
defense,
around.
buddy.
You've seen the clips from this Netflix documentary they're doing about the U.S. basketball team this year and how they went and beat everybody. They had a couple weeks to get together, and they just went out there and stomped everyone. But there's a clip of Nikola Jokic talking about, he's in there yelling in Serbian at his teammates. And he says, if you see Kevin Durant out there, leave Bam Adebayo. Do not guard him. Because that's exactly the opinion they have of those kind of players. They are worthless. Go out. The wing out there that's almost 7 feet tall and can score from any spot on the floor, that's the guy you have to worry about.
I mean, again, it goes back to Janai Broome. What were his first couple shots? Oh, I'm going to drain this 3-point shot. And then it becomes, now I've got to go out there. That's the best player in America. That's the best player in college basketball. That is a matchup problem. And Alabama got round 1 with a matchup problem on Saturday. Do not overreact to this bleep. I know that I'm getting emotional, and maybe you might think that I'm overreacting. But I'm trying to tell you that in 4 weeks, right? 3-4 weeks, whatever that Saturday is, down there in Auburn, the game could be completely different because you got round 1 with a great team, and you got to, this word, that word, we didn't like this.
If a whole guy you didn't even use.
If there were, there's no reason to, it can't win a big game when you have 4 layups. You make 4 more. That would have taken you to 18 of 30. You are still barely over 50%. So this is not a huge ask.
No.
But you hit those 4 layups, bam, you've won the game.
Mhm.
Sure. And so that's how close it is. There's no reason to, why we just got to shoot the mid-range more, or NATOs can't win a big game. Like, use your bleeping brains. I know we only have one brain cell in this country. I know. Just charge it up. Charge that one brain cell up and realize
the resources are out there, folks.
That's
Just
what's
do
so
a
dry.
little, do a little bit.
No, it's
Just find, do a little. Watch your YouTube video. I guarantee, someone will, a nice man will break it down very calmly for you on the internet.
I'm not that nice man. I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going to tell you that you cannot read a chart. I'm going to tell you, look at this square. This square says 0.4. We don't shoot from this square.
This is a similar argument, not in the same sport, but every time I watch football with my wife, Melissa, she always asks me, why do they just run up the middle? That seems so stupid. And I never have like a great answer for her that really satisfies her, because like I understand it because I've watched football my whole life. Like you have to just establish these kinds of things as like a not only a physicality standpoint, but it's a bit of a mental game to it also. Like there's a lot of things that go, but a guy that I watch his content very often on YouTube and TikTok, and he broke it down, all the statistics associated with it, and I showed it to her, and it was just very funny to see her finally be like, okay, so that makes sense. Like those kinds of things are out there for these people. With every sport you want, just go seek out this information. There are people talking about it. You can learn these games even if you are not there every day at the facility. Just take the time to do it. Don't form your own stupid opinion based off of what you've seen, because you don't know what you're talking about off of rip. The guys that have studied this game, they know what they're talking about. So listen to them and let them tell you how to watch the game, and then you can form your opinions.
Yeah, I have a friend who will form an opinion, and that's just what it is.
It's like that is such a bad way to do things.
I saw it one time. That's my opinion. That's just what it is.
It's like,
I'm just like, all right, we've gone way too long. We need to give these people a score. I have one more little small thing.
Mm-hmm.
Will you punch in Rylan Griffen's stats and give me kind of Rylan Griffen game log? Has been playing a lot for Kansas. I don't know, but I know that Kansas is really, really struggling, losing last night.
He is averaging 6.6 points a game, 2.2 rebounds, and 1.2 assists.
So we are playing.
Let's see what these minutes are looking like. Anywhere. He's got one game. He played 30 minutes.
We're 17 and 9.
Looks like he's right around like 15 to 25 minutes, kind of somewhere between there. Let's see, what do they have his actual average as? Averaging 19 minutes per game.
That's good. That's all right. That's all right. Rylan, you want to come home, buddy?
Come on back.
Because it sounds like things are not going good.
Come on back.
Out there in Lawrence. Now, obviously, we are not trading LeBaron back.
No, but he's going to hear his name called.
Rylan, this Kansas team has fallen on some hard times. They have lost West Virginia, Iowa State, Baylor,
I haven't
Kansas
seen
State,
a
Utah, and BYU.
like BYU put on them. I mean, golly, 91-57.
Jeez. He said, I thought
pre AJ DeBance at BYU, mind you.
Bill Self said, I thought this trip would be good for bonding. It hasn't been. I think we need to get away from each other. I heard that. I'm like, what's going on? I think we need to get away from each other for a day.
Folks on this team do not like each other very much right now. And I think maybe some of these coaching staff and this team do not like each other very much right now.
I don't know anything about that, but maybe so. What I will say is, Rylan, I'm praying for you, buddy.
I hope you're enjoying your time there. I hope you found what you needed.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, a major detraction and major detractors from the Kansas side. Bill Self needs to stop taking transfers. Bill Self struggles at identifying fits and pieces and how they fit together in the portal, and hasn't been able to use the portal to make a team. And they're all, we're Kansas basketball. We can recruit, develop, and commit. We don't have to worry about the portal. And they're right.
Like, the Kansas name sells itself.
You're Kansas. Don't be doing this portal nonsense.
Yeah, if you wanna throw your name back in there, there'll be a spot for you next year,
Rylan. I would welcome him back with open arms.
Absolutely. I mean, he was better last season for Alabama than he has been this year for Kansas. He was averaging right under 12 last year for Alabama.
Blame it on the system. Blame it on Bill Self's archaic system. No space.
He was also playing almost 30 minutes a game last year for Alabama.
Man, you're going to leave and you're going to get 10 minutes less per game. I hope that he made a lot of money in NIL. I hope he did. I absolutely hope he did. All right, what do you think tonight? Alabama, Missouri. Final score is what? 100-0. I like that. That's my favorite score.
I am going to. Oh man, I don't want to do this.
Are you going to take Alabama to lose?
I think I might.
Don't do that. That would be silly. But you can, because if it happens,
I really don't feel good.
Missouri's a 1.5 point favorite. That's insane.
I just don't feel great about it.
Okay.
Now, I hope that Aiden Sherrill proves me wrong and has the game of his life. But give me Missouri 82, Bama 79.
It's not unheard of. Alabama struggled at Missouri before in the Nato era. What? Kobe Brown got himself like 30-something points one time. Okay, I'll go the other way. I think Alabama's going to clear 100 again. We'll go 101. We'll go 101. We'll go 101, 82. 101, 82.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling. I think there's going to be a pretty comfortable victory for the writers and the fans this evening.
I hope that I am incorrect.
If you're not incorrect, though, you get to celebrate tomorrow. You get to gloat on everybody.
Woo!
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're done for the day. We had a lot of fun meandering around. You can call the show at 205-462-7340, extension 800. You can call the show even if we're off the air. It serves as a voicemail line. We'll take your voicemails just like the Auburn fan who left his. You can respond to the Auburn fan or respond to anything that we had to say or bring up your own topics right there on that voicemail line, 205-462-7340, extension 800. Leave me a voicemail and become my favorite. We'll talk to you again tomorrow on the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral, BamaCentral.com.